Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, I'll be reciting a portion from Surah Al-Baqarah, the third juz. أعوذ بالله الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء والله واسع عليم الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله ثم لا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون قول معروف ومغفرة خير من صدقة يتبعها أذى والله غني حليم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تبطلوا صدقاتكم بالمن والأذى كالذي ينفق ماله رئاء الناس ولا يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فمثله كمثل صفوان عليه تراب فأصابه وابل فتركه صلدا لا يقدرون على شيء ما كسبوا والله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين صدق الله العظيم. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is like a seed of grain, which grows 7 spikes. In each spike is 100 grains, and Allah multiplies His reward for whom He wills. And Allah is all-encompassing and knowing. Those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah and then do not follow up what they have spent with reminders of it or other injury will have their reward with their Lord, and there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. Kind words and forgiveness are better than charity, followed by insults. God is rich and clement. O you who have believed, do not invalidate your charities with reminders of injury, as is one who spends his wealth only to be seen by the people, and does not believe in Allah and the last day. His example is like that of a large smooth stone upon which is dust, and is hit by a downpour, and leaves it bare. They are unable to keep anything what they have earned. Allah does not guide the disbelieving people. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Sami. So inshallah, we just have to modify the schedule a little bit. We were scheduled to start at 5:30 p.m., but this is a Muslim gathering, so you already know we're not going to be on time. And so we're just kind of modifying the schedule a little bit, inshallah. What's going to happen is we're actually going to have dinner right now, followed by just some videos of certain projects that are just going to be playing. And we're going to stop at 7:20, inshallah, give everybody enough time to make wudu. And Salat al-Isha is at 7:30 at the masjid. So we'll pray Salat al-Isha at 7:30, and the program will officially start after we're going to have dinner now, and we will start the program, inshallah, at 7, after Salat al-Isha. So after we're done praying, please reconvene at the hall. Jazakumullah khair. Relief and Development USA, as well as the responsible for Helping Hands marketing and outreach efforts in the South Central region of the U.S. He's been a volunteer with Helping Hands since 2005, and he has been fully working with Helping Hands since 2012. Brother Ilyas has a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from NED University in Pakistan, and a master's degree in transportation and traffic engineering from Carleton University in Ottawa, Canada. Brother Ilyas has visited Helping Hand projects in Haiti, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Jordan, Lebanon, and Pakistan. And inshallah, he's going to be sharing some of the developmental projects of Helping Hands.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, and Jazakallah khair for a nice introduction. And I know people were waiting for a long time, but alhamdulillah, the sequence was good. Hopefully, alhamdulillah, you're already well fed. So I can go back to my original, plan. So my original plan was to show 750 slides to you. So since you're already fed, so I can go to that original plan. But actually, I have 75 slides, but I'll go through quickly. So, as was mentioned, that I'm the Director of Programs. So on behalf of all the donors and all the patrons of HHRD, alhamdulillah, I got the opportunity recently to visit Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, also Jordan and Lebanon. So this picture is one of the orphans, and we give her a uniform. So today I will give you an overview of Helping Hand. You already know the organization pretty well. Some of the information may not be new for you, but maybe hopefully you'll get some of the new information as well, hopefully down the road. So alhamdulillah, what we try to provide to different communities is opportunities for Sadaqah Jariyah projects. So the aspiration behind HHRD, as you know, our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was sent as mercy to all the worlds, and it's mentioned in Quran. So since we are Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so we have to be also merciful and be mercy to this world. So this is basically the main mission of HHRD. Some historic perspective, as you know, one of the largest grassroots level NGO organization, community-based organization in USA is Islamic Circle of North America, which was started in 1968. So we are actually part of HHRD, is part of ICNA, where HHRD does all the humanitarian projects across the globe, but within USA, everything is done by ICNA Relief. And we started our projects in 2005. Before that, everything was done by ICNA Relief. So, alhamdulillah, over the years, what we have tried is to utilize the funds that we get from our donors in the best possible manner that we can. So we try to use the best possible financial practices that are out there. And alhamdulillah, because of that, in the past 6 years, we have been getting this top 4-star charity status from Charity Navigator. And according to Charity Navigator, only 5% of NGOs are in USA who have got this 4-star charity 6 years in a row. So alhamdulillah, we are among those 5%. And we are also part of Interaction, which is an American, mainstream American organization. Under them, there are more than 190 NGOs. These are those NGOs of USA who work outside of USA. So this is a collaborative, and there are 5 Muslim organizations, alhamdulillah, we are one of them. And also, we have the CFC status, which means that if there is a campaign which federal government of USA is running, then we are allowed to place our table or a booth in a federal building to collect funds for that. So we are actually accredited by the federal government itself. As you know, internationally, since HHRD is totally international, so basically the natural divide in the world is like you have subcontinent, which is SAARC countries, then Middle East and North Africa. Then there's Africa itself, then Southeast Asia, ASEAN countries, Europe, South America, China, and old USSR, you know. So we want to align ourselves based on these natural divides. So we would like to be present, which means that we should be at least registered in one country among these different regions of the world. So up till now we are, alhamdulillah, very much established in Pakistan, which is under SAARC. Then we are very well established, alhamdulillah, in Jordan, which comes under Middle East and North Africa. And Kenya office covers most of our other Africa work. The work is in progress in Burma, Philippines, Haiti, Mexico, and Caribbean. These are the places where some of these countries, like Haiti, Mexico, and Philippines, we are already registered. But the programs or the projects are not very well established over there. We are trying to establish them, inshallah. So these are the countries where we are already registered ourselves, and because of the recent activities which are happening with our Rohingya Muslim brothers and sisters, we are also contemplating in registering in Bangladesh and Malaysia, because these are the 2 countries where the majority of the refugees from Rohingya are at this stage. In other countries, what we provide is a service to the community where, every year people would like to give their fitra, Ramadan fitra, food packages, and also during Qurbani time doing the udhiyah. So in more than 40 countries, we have partner organizations who we collaborate with and do our Qurbani program and Ramadan food package program, as well as in some of these countries, we also have some orphans that we support. So these are some of those countries. So basically, in 2010, we did a strategic planning, and that strategic planning was for this ongoing decade, these ongoing 10 years. And at that time, we came up with this strategic vision for HHRD, that HHRD will be a leader. And by leader, it does not mean that we are calling ourselves like president or the topmost thing, but leader means somebody who starts something which becomes useful for the humanity, and then other people can replicate that and be part of it. So we would like to be a leader, empowering lives, creating opportunities, and strengthening the bond of humanity. Here I will just mention about opportunities. These opportunities are twofold. One is that the people who are in dire needs, we create opportunities for them in terms of providing them food, education, skills development, and so on, which will come later on in the presentation. But we also provide opportunities for people like yourself who always like to do good things, and this is that we provide you Sadqa Jariya opportunities to be part of this humanitarian work. So this opportunity is both ways. And this is our vision statement. And at that time we came up with these 5 overarching goals, that if we are able to achieve these, then inshallah we will be able to achieve the mission of HHRD. And one of the important goals is the third one, which was to assist and empower people in need. So in order to achieve that goal, what we have done, we have created 15 different programs. So we just don't do like just food distribution, but we also support an orphan. But we also support a widow. We also support a person who needs job through skills development and so on. So we have these projects which were to achieve this goal, which is that if there's an emergency condition, then we'll have an emergency relief program, then we have orphan support program, children with disabilities, and so all the programs are listed on the screen. I will not go through all of them because they will come also later on in my presentation. So in emergency relief, what we try to do is provide immediate support wherever there's a man-made or a natural disaster. And the aspiration that we get is from Quran, that if we are able through our emergency relief program, if we are together able to save the life of just one person, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us a reward on the day of judgment for saving the whole humanity. So that is our goal. And then people, over there, these are children from Thar, they are always very appreciative for the efforts. Right now, as you know, we are doing the Syrian refugees in the Caribbean hurricanes came, very recent Rohingya Muslims, very important issue. We are dealing African drought issue, Mexico earthquakes, and third Pakistan. These are the emergency relief programs right now going on. This is a very important slide which I would like to present to you. Is actually the basic concept of how we work in the field. So what we do is, if let's say we started Haiti campaign, at that time we thought that people will come out and maybe give $50,000 or $100,000 because maybe it's not a very famous country or things like that. But alhamdulillah, people came together and as a Muslim charity, we were able to raise more than $1 million for that. So at that time, we felt, earlier we were registered in Pakistan and same thing happened at that time. So we realized that if people have so much trust on us to give this much amount of money, then it is incumbent upon us that we should not just go and leave that country, but we should stay there. So we have stayed there since 2010 and have been doing orphan support program and skills development program. The only issue is that we are not yet fully registered. We are a temporary registration over there. So this is basically a concept that we came up through a lot of studies which have been done by UNO, which says that as an NGO, which is a non-governmental organization, so we are not a government, we are not a country, we are not a government, so we can do this much. So whatever we can do this much, we should do this in the best possible manner, whatever resources that we have. And anybody in their life actually needs a few things. For instance, people need clean water. So we will, when we will go in an area which was struck by, let's say, a flood, then we will find a cluster in that area, which cluster we define it as 100 or sometimes 200 mile radius. In that area, we will do a series of projects so that there's an impact in that area. So we'll do some water projects for those people and some water sanitation projects like toilets in schools and masajid and so on. And then people in that area, they would like to sustain their lives. So how they can sustain? Either they can send their children to school, which is another part of our program, which is education, or we can provide them skills development. So we'll have a skills development program for them. Similarly, people need help, and especially healthcare for mothers and children, like newborn children. So we'll have at least some basic family health clinics, especially for mother and child. Then education, I've already mentioned. People may have lost their homes during that disaster, so we will try to provide them shelter. And last but not the least, in order to make a very unified kind of a community, those people who are most vulnerable in that area, which means like they are widows, they are orphans, they are people like the elderly people. So we should have support system for them also. So we'll have special programs for these people as well, so that the community can live as a well unit. So this is basically the idea. So we came up with these different programs. So as I mentioned, orphan program, children with disabilities program. In Quran itself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that you should serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then there are a lot of people that you should also serve while serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one of them is orphans. Up till now, we're doing 15,500 orphans in different countries, which are mentioned over there in the numbers. These are some of the children from Jordan, Burma. These are children with disabilities. This is a pilot program we are doing in Pakistan right now. Then we have a youth development program. I saw a person over here, he was mentioning that this child over here should become a future, helping hand person, a humanitarian worker. So we provide, during the summer break, we have paid positions, and this year we gave positions to more than 40 students from across all over USA in 20 different cities. And these children, they work with us for 2 or 3 months and learn the humanitarian work. So this is one thing that we do. We also hire interns in other countries also, like Pakistan, Jordan, and Africa. From USA, we also send youth abroad because we live in one of the best countries ever, like in terms of economic situation and other things, resources as well. So we try to send children from here to different countries for 1 week, and they have a mentor with them. So up till now, we have a youth program for Haiti, which happens in the March break, then youth for Jordan, which happens during the summertime, and youth for Africa, which is going to happen this January. And in fact, 40 girls and 20 boys applied for that. But we didn't have these many positions for that, so we had an interview system. So this way, these youth, they are able to see how the other youth live in different countries. They interact with them. They also see the poverty in those countries and then appreciate what they have over here. And then we have warehouses across USA where they can volunteer, the youth. So these are some activities. This is Sheikh Omar Salman with the youth group last year in Jordan. And so Water for Life, I already mentioned, I just went over there. These are one location. Human beings, animals, everyone is being served, This is a very important program, in-kind gifts. In-kind gifts program is where we stretch your dollar. So if you give $1, we try to stretch it to at least $5 to $10. So your $1 should become that. So the way it works is that some part of your donation, which comes for disaster relief, we put that in an in-kind gifts program where people may not able to give cash, but they are able to give in-kind gifts. So, but these have to be in a useful condition, and in fact, your Chicago office over here is also our headquarters for our in-kind gifts program. Sister Nadia Zishan, she runs this program from here. So it's called Smiles Across the Miles. So I was recently in Uganda, yeah, I remember. I was in Uganda, and they were just appreciating just only one thing, that we had sent only one container over there, and they had received some medical equipment where you can use one equipment to get all the 4 or 5 vitals, like your blood pressure, your pulse rate, and everything. And they were so appreciative that they had never had that thing over there, But here you can see in all the clinics those things. So it's a very useful program, where we sent all these different items like bedding, clothes, food, school furniture, and medical supplies. And then we have a healthcare program. So I can go on, but this is another very important program where we provide comprehensive physical rehabilitation in Pakistan. A lot of terrorist acts happen, a lot of accidents happen in that part of the world, and people, they lose their limbs. And so we have come up with a project in Mansehra, which is near Abbottabad in Pakistan, where this building is not only serving as a rehab center where we provide all the artificial prosthetics free of charge through your donations, but also there's a college over there that trains people for 5-year degrees in physiotherapy. And physiotherapy's jobs are very highly rated, in Middle East and in European countries and USA. Similarly, on the same pattern, we just inaugurated a project in Karachi called KIND. This is the Karachi Institute of Neuro Diseases. So this is going to be one of the largest rehab and neuro disease center in Pakistan, inshallah. It's going to start in January. There was already an existing hospital building that we have purchased, and it is being equipped now, inshallah, to start this project in January. We have skills development program, as I mentioned earlier. These are sisters in Afghanistan, sisters in Haiti. We just visited our center in Kenya, and then this is sisters in Pakistan, Somalia, and we also visited in the Syrian and Palestinian refugees in Jordan, and they're making a lot of good stuff over there. Really nice skills that they have. So similarly, education support program we have. So in all, I will say that we try to cover different aspects in a cluster, in a particular area, so that that can be replicated by other NGOs as well as the government of those countries in order to change the lives of these people. So if you change the lives of people in a small area, and that can become a good example. We started this process in 2011, so and you are able to do that, then that can be replicated and can transform a country, you know. So this was quickly a little bit about ourselves, about Helping Hand. And recently our team also went to Rohingya, a conference in Turkey, just a couple of days ago. Also, we have a matching gift program where if you're working for an organization that matches your donations, please do contact us for that as well. So stay in touch with us through our website. If you go to the front page, scroll down, and there's a newsletter section. Please do subscribe your email address for that, because you'll get, inshallah, good information. Also, follow us on our Facebook page and Twitter and all so on. So, Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Ilyas. SubhanAllah, it's amazing when you sit through this presentation, because as the audience member, you know, we know Helping Hand to be an organization that takes money and helps people that are in need. But when you really see everything that goes behind the scenes, all these, you know, immense amount of projects that are not just, you know, helping the poor, helping the orphans, but really giving people their quality of life back, their dignity and their honor back, and, you know, giving widows the opportunity to have a life again, giving orphans the opportunity to have a life again, teaching people their religion again. And so, subhanAllah, so much goes into it, and it's such a beautiful concept that we're actually privileged enough tonight to be able to understand, where does our money go? How does it help people? I know on like Facebook and YouTube, we usually see like, you know, Imam Omar Suleiman, and he's in these countries, and he's, you know, interviewing these orphans, and he's seeing them. But alhamdulillah, tonight we're getting to see really behind the scenes of everything that happens. You know, from the animals that are being taken care of, to the orphans, to the widows, to the, you know, special needs. And you know, Brother Ilyas is right. This is something that, you know, we never have to think about. If we break our arm, we just go to the orthopedic doctor, we get a cast, we go to physical therapy, occupational therapy, and that's it, we're back to life. But, you know, somebody in these countries, in these villages, they hurt themselves because of, you know, some foolish and ignorant terrorist attack. I mean, that could be the end of life for them. So the fact that programs like this exist is something that is so phenomenal and so beautiful. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you, may He accept your efforts, and may He continue to facilitate a way for you to help those that are in need. Inshallah, we're going to continue with our program. Our next speaker is Dr. Abdul Khalid Ghori. He is the Medical Director and Public Health Professional. He acquired his medical degree from Liaquat Medical College, and he did his MS in Public Health in Islamabad. He has 29 years of experience working in health and developmental sector, and he worked as a clinician for 12 years, engaging in disease prevention, care support services for the last 20 years in different capacities. He's worked with communities conducting research and developmental activities as consultants for national projects. He has managed a number of donor-funded projects at national and subnational levels, and recently he has joined Helping Hands as the manager for the Midwest region. Inshallah, he's going to be coming and discussing the progress update for the Midwest region.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Brother, for having this very good introduction of mine. I'm Dr. Ghori. I will be briefly discussing about this, what is happening actually in the Midwest region. The progress made by this particular region you can see 8 states are included in this particular region, including Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Missouri, South and North Dakota, and Iowa. Out of these 8 states, we are mainly focused on, I think, 3-4 states we are mainly focused in. In our region, if you see the demographics and the population of this particular region, you can see that Illinois is the most populated region, most populated state, and also one of the states where the, most of the Muslim population is there. Overall, in US, there is 6.8 million Muslims are living, which comprise of 2.11% of total population. Here you can see what the resources are available and how we are utilizing and how we are trying our best to tap these potentials. So you can see that the Islamic masajids, Islamic centers and the masajids which are located in this particular region are around 297 Islamic centers and masajids are there, and we have been able to collaborate and act and interact with 107 of them. And this is the breakdown of our different in different states. So this is a brief kind of a nutshell of what major activities, major events we organized in 2017. We conducted a mushaira in Skokie for Aligarh Bachon Ka Ghar in April 2017. Then Quran competition at Des Plaines in collaboration with ICNA. Night of Orphans and MCC. Mushaira at Edison, Illinois, that was in the Shalimar in September. It was through Ghazali Educational Trust for the benefit of Ghazali Educational Trust students. Mushaira again at St. Louis. Then we have 2 more planned activities in this year, and more would be, as the dates would be confirmed, more would be coming in. One again on the next Saturday, that's the 18th of November. Here in the same hall, we would be having this comedy show with the concept of law for relief, and the support would be going to children with disabilities. And you have seen a glimpse of this, what specifically the Children with Disabilities program is going on. Then we have planned another activity on 16th of December in Kenosha, Albanian American Islamic Center in Kenosha, for the benefit of Rohingya Muslims. Here you can see the biggest program in our region is the in-kind support program. And for this in-kind support program, you can see how many countries this region have been supporting. In 2014, 4 countries were supported. In 2017, up to 5 countries are being supported. And out of these, you can see the list of the countries which have been supported, including Pakistan, Lebanon, Jordan, Somalia, Tanzania, and Palestine as well. So again, here, I would require your very brief kind of attention here, specifically with the slide, which is, I think, a summary of whatever we have done over the past 4 years. Number of containers which have been sent annually from this particular region. In 2017, the number was 17, and in 2017, the number went up to 26 containers have been sent, and also I think 3 or 4 containers are in pipeline which will be sent. So, over the last 4 years, 91 containers have been sent. And out of this, if you can subdivide, segregate what specifically was sent into these containers, the cloths, if you see, 15,000 boxes of the cloths were sent. Food, this is a unique kind of a commodity which we are sending from here, and 1.7 million pounds of food have been sent so far. Medical supplies, and I am grateful to our partners which are providing, who are quite generous to us to support that. In 2017, you can realize that 49,000 pounds of medical supplies have been sent, and the total value of these 49,000 pounds medical supply in 2017 alone is more than $500,000. So you can realize that the total value, when we convert the in-kind support into dollars, then it comes to more than 10 million pounds, $10 million value of in-kind support have been sent to different countries of the world. And here you can say in the last line that the individual beneficiaries which are supported through your donations. So it's again 755, more than 755, and still the 2017 supplies are going on, have not been completed. So you can I think feel a relief kind of a thing, a sense of satisfaction that your money, your donations are being utilized effectively and efficiently, and for those who are really in need. This is the distribution of containers sent in 2017 from different states. So Illinois state, again, it's number one, that's the 21 containers. Here are the organizations through which we are working in different countries. Like in Pakistan, HHRD Pakistan is also there, and two other organizations, our partner organizations, are working for the support, Akhuwat and Al-Khidmat. In Jordan, HHRD Jordan is there, Lebanon, Darul Fatwa, Al-Baida and Kitaf. Three organizations are working. Likewise, you can see. So this is the fund situation. How we are progressing. In 2014, it was only 2.1 million. And in 2017, as of today, when I received this report, right now, I think just before coming to for this presentation, I received the report that we have crossed 3 million. So it is all because of your support. Here are some of the glimpses of activities which we conducted around you. That's the food drive, cloth drives going on. Some of the volunteers, we have a lot of volunteers working with us. And this is the thing, most precious asset of this region. You can see young guys working for packing the cloths, putting up this stuff into these containers. You can see here. So you can realize that these are amongst you, and you can see them. These are the volunteers after filling the whole containers and are having a brief kind of a rest. So different activities, Mushaira and other activities, HHRDs amongst you. Everywhere, whenever you see, this is especially one of your, and whatever container, whatever the supplies we are sending from whichever region, we receive a full detailed report of that. Our head office actually communicate with us the full utilization of that particular items. So we receive the feedback also, and we are very much facilitative in communicating. Whoever of our donors intend to receive these reports, we are very much happy to share these reports with them as well, so that they would be having good kind of a trust and satisfaction that their money, their donation is being utilized effectively. This is one of the RO water filtration plant in the far-flung areas in Sakhar, Pakistan. And you can realize that this was with the support of this region. It's only one example which I could quote here. So now coming up, right now, this region is facing a huge problem. We were having our warehouse for the last many years donated by some of our brothers. Due to some reason, actually administration of this company has been changed, and now we have vacated that on their request. We are searching for the warehouse, which is most critical part of our activities. So we are with you, and we would like to request you, any of donor, any of the company, if they could extend their support, they could provide us the warehouse, or they could bear the expenses of the warehouse. The expense of warehouse is around, I think, it's around $2,000 to $3,000 per month if we go for rent. So if we could get the space so we can establish the warehouse, or we can receive the resources as a Sadaqah Jariyah for this particular activity. These are a few of the forthcoming events. And with this I conclude my talk with the request to you all that keep in touch, and with the recognition of, first of all, our team which made it happen. So I request my team to please come here on the stage so that all you would be kind of a familiarity with them. Most of you already know, but I think only a few of them would not be. Aini, please. So my team, please Sister Nadia, your team, please. Sister Nadia is actually handling this in-kind support program from head office. Her office is also in Chicago. So quickly, my team, please. Where are these guys? Sister Reem. Sister Reem, where is Sister Reem?
She's outside.
So it's just a kind of a token of recognition. Where is Sister Hani?
Oh, she did.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Today is actually the day for recognition and appreciation of the efforts and the contributions. Thank you very much.
Nasser comes to the stage. She is the president of MEC and MCC in Chicago, and he's going to share a few words with us, inshallah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem, Amma ba'd. You know, once few years back, when I was given the responsibility of MCC and MEC, someone asked me to speak at some place, and I said, "Bhai, zara 5 minute pehle bata diya hota." And the answer I got is, "Why did you become the president of MCC? Now you have to speak at many places, you have to be ready all the time." And then I learned a lesson. I'm from Pakistan, and many of us I know were born and raised perhaps in Pakistan, and we used to study, you know, in Urdu medium, and then from 6th grade we start English. And we had very famous Darsi model test paper, which was a key for us to pass our high school. And we used to cram some English essays. And one of those was My Best Friend. If you remember, it was there. So the joke comes that one student like me, he had crammed that My Best Friend, but in the exam came postmaster. So what should we do? If he doesn't do, he will fail. So he had an idea, and he said, "My best friend is a postmaster." So he started talking about that. And that's what I learned also. If I have to speak, and as brother was saying, you have to speak fil badi. So fil badi, I thought, okay, I will start with a very beautiful Quranic ayah, which everyone starts with, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Zalikal kitabul la rayba fi hudal lil muttaqin allazina yu'minuna bil ghaibi wa yuqimuna as-salata wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun. So let's concentrate on وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. It's very easy ayah. Most of us, alhamdulillah, know the meaning of these ayahs. That this Quran was told to us that this is the guidance for those people, one thing, who believe in unknown, unseen. Second thing, who are very good in their prayers, they keep their prayers. And then comes, and the spend from what have been given to them. It never came what have they earned. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was very particular, very specific on that, that you have to spend from what you have been given. So it's not ours. Alhamdulillah, people here, I know, they always donate. But sometimes, you know, including myself, we start feeling, hey, Mushtaq Salimi every Friday आ जाते हैं तंग करने हमें. We are really sorry, we don't mean that, but that's really the spirit. that if we are spending few pennies from our pockets, those are not our pockets. Those are not pennies of us. We can claim I am the doctor, I am the engineer, I am the scientist, I am this and I am that, but this is all Allah's blessings. And when Allah's blessings comes, we have no way of criticizing, we have no way of arguing, we got to help as much as we can help. And that's where helping hand comes. There are, mashallah, many other organizations also who are doing this noble work, which perhaps many of us can never think of that. We give few dollars and we feel we have helped the whole humanity. But helping hand is everywhere, mashallah. Mushal bhai, I will not criticize, inshallah, today anything. On the side, we can always talk about that. But here we have gathered. I don't know you are collecting money today or not, or it's just an appreciation. But even if it is appreciation, keep in mind that they are doing wonderful job everywhere, whether it is Syria, Palestine, Jordan, Iraq, Kashmir, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Rohingyas in Burma now, everywhere helping hand is there. And they need more help. And the way I see them, I don't know exactly their books, but I think their administrative costs are very, very minimal, the way I see them. So that's another way of appreciating them, that many organizations, their CEOs are earning millions, but these organizations, alhamdulillah, they are spending most of the money which they collect, and not only money, the clothes and everything. May Allah help them, may Allah reward them, and may Allah give us the tawfiq to help all these organizations who are doing great job. We wish the governments do those kind of jobs because they have the resources. Unfortunately, governments everywhere are not doing their job, what they are supposed to do, and the NGOs have to come up to help the individuals, to help the other organizations, to help the other areas wherever there are disasters, whether those are man-made disasters or natural disasters. We got to help them. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah, if I can please have Sister Hafsa Malik and Sister Ansel come to the stage, and they'll be sharing a few words with us, inshallah. They're actually, they've been volunteers with Helping Hand for a very, very long time, so please give them the stage, they'll be sharing a few words.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hafsa Malik. I'm a member of Islamic Foundation North in Libertyville. Sabiapa, who's a teacher, mentor, a dear friend, she leads one of our Dars classes at IFN. She invited Amna Tariq from Helping Hand to talk to us about the important and rewarding work that they were doing to help the less fortunate. I found Sister Amna to be very caring, sincere, passionate about the cause of helping people. The more Amna spoke, the more our group became inspired and wanted to get involved. Our group always had a desire to help others. Finally, we found an organization which was doing that. Helping Hand impacts many unprivileged lives within our communities and across the globe. They're always the first one to provide emergency relief to those affected in natural disasters in places like US, Mexico, Syria, Burma, Pakistan, just to name a few. There are various programs within this organization, some of which focuses on providing care for groups such as orphans, the disabled, women, children, and elderly. They also focus on skill development, media campaigning, and social injustice issues. Sabiapa arranged for us to volunteer at one of their centers where they prepare relief packages to send out to different places. Our whole class was very eager to help. When we arrived, Amna greeted us with a big smile. I found the place to be very organized. I used to wonder, when we donate things, how does Helping Hand get these things to their destination? After volunteering, I came to realize how much hard work, dedication goes into this. The rewarding feeling that this very blanket will go to some needy child in Syria, Burma, can't be replaced. I encourage all of you to get involved and do your part. I would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the opportunity to help others in need. I would also like to thank Helping Hand for the great work they're doing. And in the end, I would like to thank Sabiapa, Amna for inspiring us to get involved. There's a hadith, the best of people are those who benefit others. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and keep us on the right path. Ameen.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Anwar Iqbal. I'm a mother of 3 children, which I raised myself. My husband died long time ago, 25 years ago. So I ran a business and raised my kids, and now I'm free to help. I found out about Sister Amna and others too. So when I went to the place, I did not know what Helping Hand is doing much more than I knew before. I was just only sending the donation for the Qurbani of the Eid. So that's all I knew, they have donation. But when I found out in a warehouse, when I met Sister Amina and met her, and there are lots of work, volunteers we need, all our sisters especially, they have their children in schools, they need volunteer hours for the school credits, so they can inspire their children to come over here once or twice a week. They can get the credit for their schools and also help. There's a lots of help we need in the warehouse because these things are not easy. So few people cannot manage all that. Sister Amna is doing all over. She's there. She's helping people, teaching them how to do it. But this is not enough. So all our sisters should be volunteering few hours a week. Like they plan the lunches, so they can get together. One sister drives everybody, come over there, spend few hours. I think we can provide you lunch too. So please inspire your children. They can get their hours for school and help us pack all these things. That's not easy to pack up boxes. They're not just the boxes. And also they can donate their money. This is Sadaqah Jariyah. Have them piggy banks. They can put a few dollars every week in there, and drop makes a river. So everybody should help. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah, we'll be doing the distribution of the shields and certificates now. This is for all the organizations, the masajid, the sponsors, vendors, everybody that has collaborated with Helping Hands. So I will be saying the names of the particular Islamic centers and the organizations. When you do hear your name, please come to the stage and receive your certificate and shield. Fox Valley Muslim Community Center, Albanian American Islamic Center, Al-Juma Masjid from Bolingbrook, Al-Azhar Islamic Center. You guys, if you hear your name, please just come to the stage, inshallah. Mosque Foundation in Bridgeview, Masjid al-Faruq, Islamic Community Center, ICC, Masjid al-Muhajirin, AIC, American Islamic College, DIC, Downtown Islamic Center, ICNA, ICCI, Masjid al-Fatih, Mecca Masjid, Chicago Islamic Center, Jamia Masjid, MCC, Islamic Center of DeKalb, ICCD, Institute of Islamic Education, Darus Sunnah Masjid, American Islamic Association, MSI, South Suburban Islamic Center, Quba Community Center, American Muslim Community Organization, Darus Salam, MEC, Islamic Center of Naperville, ICN, the Prayer Center of Orland Park, Islamic Center of Oakbrook, ICP, IFP, Islamic Center of Quincy, Muslim Association of Greater Rockford, Islamic Society of Northwest Suburbs, Masjid al-Huda, Islamic Foundation School, IFS, Islamic Foundation North, IFN, and Islamic Center of Wheaton. So if we have representatives from these masajid and organizations, please come to the stage and accept your shield and certificate for participation.
मैं ले जाता हूँ 2-3 के ब्रदर ले लो उनसे
Next, we'll be handing out certificates of appreciation for all the volunteers. When you do hear your name, please come to the stage and receive your certificate and accept it with pride. It's something that's very honorable that you're doing with your time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, inshallah. So when you hear your name, please come to the stage. Sister Warda Tariq. Sister Rubina Malik. Sister Seema Anwar.
They're not here, but I'm taking them.
Okay, you're taking it. Thank you.
Both of them.
Sister Inam Al-Jabli.
Yes.
Sister Sumaya Haider. Sister Masara Muhammad. Brother Ali Khan. Brother Abdul Rahman Qureshi. Brother Anaim Ansari, Sister Sabiha Khalid, Sister Tasneem Ali, Sister Hifza Malik, Sister Sabiha Khan. I think there's a lesson here tonight that clearly all the volunteers are sisters and the brothers need to definitely step it up because there's a lot of sisters here, mashallah.
Sister Sabiha.
Sister Shahina Rizvi. Sister Rifat Mahmood. Sister Sadia Aziz. Sister Nasia Faisal. Sister Fawzia Balani. Sister Mona Manzoor. Sister Zubaida Asi. Sister Saima Abbasi. Sister Rifat Wasim. Sister Fariha Shakil. Sister Anwar Iqbal. And those were the certificates for our gracious volunteers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept every second of your time and effort and energy that you have placed in facilitating the work of this great organization. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala overlook any and all shortcomings that we have. Inshallah, we'll be heading towards the keynote speech of the night. That is by Brother Jawed Sadiqi. He is the CEO.
واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I have been pretty humbled by these presentations. I want to take a moment and thank everyone who has been involved in these fundraisers, in-kind drives, distribution of flyers. My brothers and sisters, it's a thankless job. In the few minutes I have with you here today, I want to emphasize on something very special. I want to dedicate this talk to those unnamed, unmentioned, unrecognized people. You know, when you and I think about the blessings and the people who are able to receive these donations from across the world, from all over the United States, and the barakah that you see in this work and the expansion and the growth, and you wonder why. My brothers and sisters, many a times we undermine or underestimate, not undermine, but underestimate the power of sincerity of these brothers and sisters who are unnamed, unrecognized, unmentioned. I want to share with you a story that shows you the true power of people such as these. Some of you may have already heard the story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Abasa, He says, عَبَسَ وَتَوَلَّى أَنْ جَاءَهُ الْأَعْمَى وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى أَوْ يَذَّكَّرُ فَتَنْفَعُهُ الذِّكْرَى أَمَّا مَنِ اسْتَغْنَى فَأَنْتَ لَهُ تَصَدَّى وَأَمَّا مَنْ جَاءَكَ يَسْعَى فَهُوَ يَخْشَى فَأَنْتَ عَنْهُ تَلَهَّى صدق الله العظيم. These famous verses, my brothers and sisters, were revealed at a time. Many of you may know the story and the background to these ayat. The Prophet ﷺ was in conversation with Walid ibn al-Mughira, one of the very known leaders of Quraysh, who was less resistant to the movement that started in the city of Mecca. And this was an important conversation. The Prophet ﷺ one time had an opportunity to speak to him, and he was explaining to him this message. And here comes this blind man. He heard the Prophet ﷺ speaking, so he knew that he was speaking to someone. So he approached him. He wanted to say, "Ya Muhammad, teach me from what Allah has taught you." He was very zealous. He was very interested in this new message that he had just recently accepted. And here at the same time, the Prophet ﷺ is engaged in a very important conversation with the leader, one of the leaders of Quraysh, and he's hoping that because of this conversation, it will ease the burden, it will ease the environment for the believers in Mecca. So from his point of view, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's engaged in a very important conversation. And as many of you realize and recognize that those who may be blind, they're always, there's another sense that the ability to hear, the ability to recognize some other additional things are much better than those who may have their sight fine. So definitely this Sahabi radiallahu anhu, and his name was Abdullah ibn Maktoum. He was a relative of Khadija radiallahu anha, and he kept interrupting. And the Prophet ﷺ was obviously a little annoyed by that. And a few bulges happened on his forehead. Imagine the situation. This man is a blind person. This Sahabi is a blind man. He's unable to see those bulges and that unhappiness that the Prophet ﷺ may have shown for a few moments because he was in a very important business conversation. But look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In that situation where the Prophet ﷺ was doing the right thing, he would not turn around and tell him, "Please stop, wait a second, I'm talking, can't you see?" He did not say that. What did he say? He just had some bulges on his forehead. And Allah would reveal these ayat. Allah would want to transcribe this event in the book of Allah until the day of judgment. As you and I can imagine how important this book is, that a story, an entire surah dedicated to this blind man was revealed. So what is special about this man? His name is not even mentioned in Quran. Unknown, unrecognized, unmentioned. So the Prophet ﷺ would recite these ayat and just try to picture the situation in your mind. You know when one brother gets in trouble because of another brother, what happens? He's like, "I'm gonna get you, right? You got me in trouble before mom and dad." And he's unhappy. Or even if a community member gets in trouble because of another community member, what does he decide to do? He decides, I'm gonna try to avoid him. Because of this man, I really got into trouble. But look at the Prophet ﷺ. Until the time the Prophet was alive, and afterwards in Mecca, for the rest of his stay in Mecca and in Medina, anytime Abdullah ibn Maktoum would come to him, he would stand up and receive him and say, "You are the person, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the man because of which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala corrected me." And he would respectfully seat him down. An unmanned, unnamed, unmentioned, and unrecognized person. My brothers and sisters, this man continues to be in the city of Medina during the life of Prophet ﷺ. And as we all are aware, the Sahabi that was responsible for giving the adhan, who was he? Bilal radiallahu anhu. And did you know who is the Sahabi who is responsible or was responsible for giving the Iqamah? Abdullah ibn Maktoum. He was given the honor, the person because of which Allah rebuked the Prophet ﷺ in his book, and it's been recorded. That man was given the honor by the Prophet ﷺ to be the one who would call the Iqamah. My brothers and sisters, this was the first time. Zayd ibn Thabit says in another instance, he says, one time I was sitting next to the Prophet ﷺ, and all of a sudden his thigh, he was sitting next to me, his thigh would fall in my thigh, and I start to feel the weight. I start to feel the Prophet ﷺ becoming very quiet and calm. And that was one of the signs where revelation was coming down to him. And he would recite the ayat of Quran, and he would turn around and say to him, "O Zayd, I want you to recite these ayat." He says the ayah in Surah An-Nisa, in which says, لا يستوي القاعدون من المؤمنين والمجاهدون في سبيل الله. Those who are sitting behind, because what used to happen at that time, when the time for jihad came in, the Abdullah ibn Maktoum would go to the Prophet ﷺ and say, Ya Rasulullah, please allow me to go for jihad. He says, no, you can't. You really should not be going, you should stay behind. And every time the Prophet ﷺ would leave town, guess who he would make the imam behind him? When the Prophet leaves the city of Medina, he would appoint Abdullah ibn Maktoum as the imam, the blind man, because of whom he ﷺ was rebuked. Unnamed, unrecognized. So Zayd ibn Harith relates this event. He says, when I was sitting next to the Prophet ﷺ and I saw this revelation come to him, and he would recite this ayat, he would say, those who are sitting behind are not equal to those who are going for jihad. And Abdullah ibn Maktoum stood up. He said, Ya Rasulullah, what about me? You keep telling me to stay behind, and now here's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying those who are staying behind and those who are going for jihad are not equal. Zayd ibn Thabit says, and look at the magnificence of this Sahabi radiallahu anhu, unnamed and unrecognized. Right away he said, I felt the Prophet ﷺ went back again in the same state as revelation started to come down to him, and Allah would reveal another word that makes it an exception, that would exclude those who are disabled. وَأُولِي الضَّرَرِ. Now just imagine the status of this man. Unnamed and unrecognized. Allah would reveal twice, not once, twice, ayat of Quran in the honor of this man. Now, there must have been something very special about him. When the Prophet ﷺ passed away, he continues to go to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. He says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, please allow me to go for jihad. He says, no, you can't do it, you just gotta stay home. So he would continue on, and then Umar radiallahu anhu came, and then until the time of Qadisiyah, he kept on trying. He kept on trying. And this was a very important battle, because this is where the decision was going to be made about Persia. And he would go again to the Prophet ﷺ. He says, to Umar ibn Khattab, he says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, please allow me. He says, you are a blind man. How are you going to fight? He said, that's the point. I'm a blind man. I will not be defeated. I will not step back. I won't be able to see somebody coming at me with a sword because I'm blind. So he says, what are you going to do? If you can't really hold your sword, what are you going to do? He said, give me the alam. Give me the flag. And the flag at that time used to be the means of communication. There wasn't this electronic medium. There weren't those internet technologies at the time. That's what told the entire army where the forces are going to be. He said, okay, I see your point. So he gives him the alam, he gives him the flag. And this Sahabi would hold the flag and continues to move forward. This was a very, very fierce battle. And at the end of which, they started looking around and said, where is the Sahabi? And they found him among the dead with the flag still in his hand. Unnamed, unrecognized, unmentioned. My brothers and sisters, the point I'm trying to make here, we should never underestimate the sincerity, the true love, that sincere devotion that these volunteers, these people who are unnamed and unrecognized and unmentioned, yes, today, alhamdulillah, we are doing our part in recognizing them. But their power is unparalleled to all those people who are maybe like me, standing on the stage, being recognized, being told, but that person, that volunteer, who's worked hard, who was sweating, who drove miles to be there to help that fundraiser or that distribution or whatever that effort may have been, they are not unnamed and unrecognized and unmentioned in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the people that make this organization, make this work blessed. These are the people who are really the heart and soul of these organizations. Yes, the staff, the people who are working on it, who are paid, yes, alhamdulillah, they're doing their part. But these volunteers, these organizations, the support that you provide, it will not go unnamed, unrecognized, and unmentioned in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to thank you on behalf of Islamic Circle of North America for your services, for your dedication, and for your efforts to really help these people who have no one to help them. Wallahi, I will tell you this. Those of us who had the opportunity to visit these sites, when I came back, last year I visited Pakistan, Jordan, and Kenya. I came back and told my children, I said, you will not complain about anything to me going forward. You should not complain about anything. You guys live in heaven. Wallahi, that is the truth. Everyone and anyone who has the opportunity to go visit them, words cannot describe their condition. Videos can't really do justice to their circumstances. You know, on that day we were coming back, it was a day in August. I'm just going to, inshallah, mention this one final incident and conclude. We were coming back from, it was not the Zatri camp, it was one of the, I think it was Irbid in Amman, Jordan. And on the way back, there was a masjid. Apparently there's, historically, they say the Ashab al-Kahf were in the same vicinity. So we go and visit these people, and we took a lot of, food and sort of. They were living in the desert. What is happening in some of the larger tents, the Zatri tent, for example, and some of you who have visited know that. They say because these tents, these camps are now filled with people. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of people and families are living there. But unfortunately, what happens is, just like everything else, even these camps are inundated and there are mafias that are formed. There are few men who are able to take advantage of the situation because there are so many sisters and children and they have no one to go to. So these sisters would end up, because of harassment and all sorts of harassment, they would leave the camps and try to head to the cities and stay in the cities because they're tired of this harassment. So we visited one of the camps and they were literally in the desert. I think UNHCR donated a tent for them. And you enter the tent and it's literally clay and mud. And they said 3 days ago it was raining, so there was nothing on the floor. So I don't know how you survive and how do you do that. So, and that evening, and they were young children, like 4, 5, 6, and we played with them for a while, and all that stuff. And then we were coming back, and it was about 8 or 9:30 in the evening, and I came out of the car and I was shivering. It was so cold, and I kept thinking, subhanallah, these people who we left them behind, they will be in that same tent. I don't know what they had. I was wearing a jacket and I was in the car, the heat was on, and I came out and I was like, man, I gotta go back inside again, right away. And these people, that's how they live. This was August. It was August? No, sorry, it was March. This was March, April time frame. So, my brothers and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieve their pain and suffering. Wallahi, we have no idea. We have no idea. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless the families. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward those who have tirelessly worked and supported by their time, by their efforts, by their energies, by their manpower, whatever means they've had. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless their families, to protect their children. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you all. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Projects, the reality to facilitate the work of the volunteers. So please help me welcome Brother Mushtaq Salim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Just I want, because a lot of people, many things they say, just I want to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you all healthy with a healthy iman, healthy body, protect you all, and God bless you. Jazakallah khair. Coming, Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.